Hello, welcome back to Learn Economia. In this video, we are going to look into lending and storing, smoothing and moving consumption to the future. In order to understand this concept, you have to first of all consider the case of two people, Marco and Julia. These people are coming from a different situation, or I mean, they are facing different situation. Here, we have to understand that Julia is deciding to borrow something, and Marco has some goods or funds with him, and he is giving that fund to Julia, and Julia is a borrower and Marco is a lender. This is something that you have to imagine in order to understand this concept. Okay, just understand that Marco has some funds which is of worth $100, but he does not anticipate receiving any income later. Julie and Marco will both get $100 eventually, but time would create a difference. Marco's wealth would narrowly defined as $100, and Julia's wealth is 0. That is why she is going to borrow from Marco. Marco has some money with him, and Julia, she hasn't got any money with her. We have to understand that Julia will earn $100 in the future and wants to borrow now. The situation is that she is actually she is trying to go for consumption smoothing by borrowing. Here you have to understand Julia's indifference curve passing through her entombment point, and here it is very steep. You can see that in the figure which is given in the next slide. Because she currently has nothing, she has a strong preference for increasing her consumption now. This is known as Julia's reservation indifference curve. Reservation indifference curve, this is mainly because it is made up of all the points at which Julia would be just as well as off at her reservation position, which is her endowment with no borrowing or lending. A curve that indicates allocations that are as highly valued as one's reservation option. Here we can see Marco's indifference curve as well as Julia's indifference curve. Marco's indifference curve passing through his endowment point, which is $100 now and nothing later. It is quite flat now, indicating that he is looking for a way to transfer some of his consumption to the future. Marco and Julia's indifference curve are hence their pure impatience, and they look similar here. They differ according to their situation, not their preferences. Julia borrows because she is poor at present, unlike Marco. Marco has some money with him, and Julia needs to smoothen her consumption or smooth her consumption. Marco has $100 now. He has some grains with him, and if he sells that grains, he will be getting $100. That means that he has $100 worth of grain, and which is just harvested, and he doesn't have any debts to pay off. He could consume it all now, but as we have seen, this would probably not be the best option that he could go for given his circumstances. We have assumed that his income in the future is 0. Like Julia, he has diminishing marginal returns consumption of grain. In order to smooth, he wishes to move some of his goods to the future. He could store the grain, but if he did so, there is some possibility of mice eating this grain, which would create some kind of depreciation, and the mice eat would represent a reduction in the Marco's wealth due to passage of time. So taking this into consideration, if he consumed nothing at all during this period, and he would have, in this case, he would have just $80 worth of grain a year later. This means that the cost of moving grain from the present to the future is 20% per year. In this figure, you can see that Marco's entombment is on the horizontal axis, that is $100 of grain available now. The dark line shows Marco's feasible frontier using storage. The dark shaded area shows his feasible set. If this were the option and his indifference curves were indicated, he would definitely store some of the grain. In the figure, you can see that some part of his feasible frontier lies outside his endowment indifference curve, so that he can do better by storing some grain. But how much of that? In the case of Julia, like in the case of Julia, Marco will find the amount of storage that gets him to the highest feasible indifference curve by finding the point of tangency between the indifference curve and the feasible frontier, which is shown as the point H. So he will eat $68 of grain now and he would consume $26 of it later. At point H, Marco has equated his marginal rate of substitution between consumption now and consumption future to his MRT, that is marginal rate of transformation, which is the cost of moving goods from present to the future. He could avoid mice by selling grain and putting $100 under his mattress. His feasible frontier would then be a straight line from consumption now of $100 to consumption later of $100. Here we are assuming that $100 will not be stolen and $100 will purchase the same amount of grain now as well as later because there is no inflation. All these things are assumptions. You can expect that there is a possibility of inflation anytime, right? This is what we are experiencing right now. But in this case, just assume that there is no inflation. Under these kinds of assumptions, storing money under a mattress is definitely better than storing grain when there is a possibility of attack of the mouse or depreciation. A better plan, if Marco could find is a trustworthy borrower, would be able to lend the money. If he did this, he would. There is an assured repayment, that is dollar what he is lending into 1 plus R for every 1 rupee or $1 lent. Then he could have feasible consumption of 100 into 1 plus R later, or any of the combination along his feasible consumption line, which is given in the figure here. You can see that the light line in figure shows the feasible frontier when Marco lends at 10%. As you can see, compared to storage or putting the money under the mattress, his feasible set is now expanded by opportunity to lend money at any interest. Marco is able to reach a higher indifference curve. As it is seen in a contemporary economy, there are a variety of financial instruments that Marco can use in order to shift his consumption to future by lending, by using certain term deposits or bond issued by companies or government or whatever it may be. There are multiple instruments that could be used. If Marco faced an investment opportunity, that meant he would invest his asset today and hence it be worth more in a year. For instance, if he owns land where he could use the grain as seed and cultivate more grain, then this similarity expands his feasible set. That's it. So it's better to understand all these kinds of concepts with the help of examples. Here we have taken the case of Marco and Julia. Marco, at present, he has $100 with him and Julia doesn't have any money with her. Julia wants to smoothen her consumption and she is borrowing from Marco. And rather than keeping his grains with him and suffering a depreciation as a result of mice attack or keeping the currency notes under a mattress, it's better for Marco to lend his money so that he will be earning some interest. So this is a better option as far as Marco is concerned. For Marco, it is beneficial. For Julia, it is beneficial to. For Marco, it is beneficial to rent, and for Julia, it is beneficial to borrow at present in order to smooth consumption. That is why we are going for borrowing and lending kind of operations in the market. So with that, we end today's session. I hope you have understood today's concept. I welcome you to my Telegram group and Telegram channel to discuss your doubts. There have been a lot of people right now who are discussing their doubts, who are making different kinds of discussions regarding various types of topics, various arenas of economics, policies, etc. in the group. So you can be a part of the same. I'll be providing the links of both the channel as well as the group in the description box. You can use the same. With that, we have to end. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel for more videos, and thank you for watching.